Close your eyes and picture a bulldozer. Just for a second. What color is it? Yellow. Almost every person on Earth answers yellow. You probably did too. And there is a reason for that. A specific, documented industrial reason that traces back to a single decision made in 1931 by a company that was tired of its machines getting hit in the dark. But here is what most people miss. Yellow is not the whole story. Walk onto the right job site today, and you will find green dozers, orange dozers, white dozers, and machines painted flat desert tan with armor bolted over the cab. Each one of those colors means something. None of them are accidents. Today we are going to go through all of it, where yellow came from, why your brain is wired to respond to it, what the other colors actually tell you, and the one color that a dozer wears when the job site is a war zone. Let's start in 1931. Before 1931, most heavy construction equipment, including early Caterpillar machines, was painted battleship gray, the same flat, dull gray that the U.S. Navy used on its warships. It looked serious, it looked industrial, and on a dirt road at dusk it was nearly invisible. That invisibility was killing people. Gray machines blended into gray roads, gray dust, gray shadows. Workers were being struck, machines were being clipped by trucks that never saw them. Caterpillar looked at their accident data and understood they had a visibility problem, not a mechanical one. In 1931, they put together a team specifically to solve it. The assignment was straightforward. Find a color that a human eye cannot miss at a distance, in poor light, against a background of dirt and rock and construction debris. After testing, they landed on a high chroma yellow, a warm, saturated tone they eventually called highway yellow. It went onto their machines that same year. Over the following decades, as Caterpillar grew into the dominant force in global earthmoving, that yellow went with them. Competitors who wanted to be taken seriously on the same job sites eventually followed. Not because Caterpillar told them to, because contractors and operators began to associate yellow with heavy equipment, the way they associated red with fire trucks. The color became the industry before anyone formally agreed to it. By the middle of the 20th century, yellow was the default. And by the time Tonka put it on toy trucks in every American living room, it was permanent. Now here is why the science backed up the choice. Yellow sits near the peak of human visual sensitivity, the wavelength range where your eyes are most efficient, especially in low light. Put a yellow machine against brown dirt or gray rock, and the contrast is immediate. The eye finds it without trying. Beyond the optics, there is a learned psychological response. A lifetime of traffic lights, road markings, and hazard signs has trained the brain to treat yellow as a signal that something requires attention. When a 50-ton machine rolls into your peripheral vision painted that color, your nervous system notices before your eyes have finished processing the scene. That combination of physical contrast and conditioned response has saved a significant number of lives on job sites over the past 90 years. None of that is coincidence. Caterpillar picked the right answer in 1931 because the physics of human vision left very few other options. So if yellow is the smart choice for visibility, why do other manufacturers use different colors? The answer is branding, and in some cases, a very deliberate decision to not look like Caterpillar. John Deere runs forest green with yellow trim, the same palette they have used since the 1800s. By the time Deere moved into construction equipment, that combination was one of the most recognized brand marks in American industry. Changing it would have cost more in recognition than they would have gained in visibility. They kept it and leaned into it. When you see green iron on a job site, you know whose it is before you read the badge. Case Construction runs a distinct orange-yellow. Not the same hue as cat yellow, shifted warmer and deeper. It gives Case machines strong visibility on a job site while carving out visual territory that is unmistakably separate from the competition. Stand at the gate of a mixed fleet job site, and you can sort the brands by color before you can read the decals. Hitachi and Doosan both use a deep industrial orange. Darker and more saturated than Case, it reads as aggressive against natural backgrounds: brown dirt, gray rock, tan sand. It also photographs well, which matters in an era when equipment manufacturers are selling as much through digital media as they are through dealer lots. Every one of these choices is calculated. The color on a machine is a marketing decision, a safety decision, and a brand identity decision, all made at the same time. The companies that get it right build recognition that lasts for generations. Now we get to the colors that most people never think about. The ones that tell a completely different story. The most extreme version is military camouflage. The Israeli Defense Forces operate armored Caterpillar D9 bulldozers in active conflict zones. These machines have all the standard safety arguments for yellow thrown straight out the window. On a combat job site, being visible is not a safety feature. It is a targeting feature. Those D9s are painted olive drab, flat gray, or desert sand, the same palette as the vehicles and aircraft around them. The goal is the opposite of everything the construction industry learned in 1931. You want the machine to disappear into its environment, not announce itself. White is the next one, and it shows up in a place most people do not expect. Large open-pit mines in hot desert environments, copper mines in Chile, iron ore mines in Western Australia, phosphate operations in the Middle East, sometimes specify white or very light-colored equipment from the factory. The reason is thermal management. A white or light gray machine absorbs significantly less solar radiation than a dark one. In an environment where ambient air temperature is already 115 degrees Fahrenheit, that difference matters. It extends service intervals and reduces heat-related failures in seals, hoses, and hydraulic fluid. Komatsu has supplied white-painted machines for exactly this reason on specific mine contracts. Then there are the custom corporate colors. Large construction and rental companies with fleets of 50 or 100 or 500 machines will sometimes pay to have their equipment factory ordered in a signature corporate color: bright blue, solid red, deep charcoal. A machine working on a highway project is visible to tens of thousands of commuters over the life of a job. That is advertising real estate that costs nothing beyond the paint specification at the factory order stage. And the last one is the one that surprises most people: anti-theft custom paint. Heavy equipment theft in the United States alone runs into the hundreds of millions of dollars every year. A standard Cat D6 in yellow is one of the most commonly stolen machines on any job site, precisely because it looks like every other Cat D6 in yellow. Some companies have started painting specific machines in colors that make them impossible to blend in: hot pink, lime green, flat white with large black identification marks. A thief looking for a machine to resell quickly has no use for something that stands out in every yard it enters. The unusual color is the security system. One question before we wrap up. If you were running a real fleet, your money, your machines, what color would you paint them? Drop it in the comments. I want to know if operators actually think about this the way manufacturers do, or whether it never comes up. Yellow solved a problem in 1931. Every other color solved a different one. John Deere green carries brand equity across 150 years. Case orange carves out its own visual territory. Military tan keeps a machine alive instead of visible. Desert white manages heat in places the sun treats as an enemy. Custom colors are advertising, and an ugly, unmistakable hot pink parked in a job site lot is a better theft deterrent than any GPS tracker on the market. Someone chose every color on every machine on every job site in the world. Now when you drive past a construction site, you know exactly what you are looking at. Like and subscribe if this is the kind of content you are here for. I will see you on the next one.